What are reasonable requests after a home inspection? Are you asking for too much? Too little? What's fair? As a buyer, the home inspection can be a nail biter. But by the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to determine exactly what's fair when it comes to asking the seller for repairs on your future home. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Lindsay, a proud Anthem resident and your local realtor with the Wise Move AZ team at Realty One Group. On this channel, we have a lot of fun talking about all things Anthem and real estate, and we would love to have you along for the ride. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you're notified when our new videos are released every single Thursday. If you're buying a home, the inspection period is an important and busy time. I've attended more home inspections and read more inspection reports than I can count, and I love it. You might be thinking, Lindsay, are you crazy? Isn't the inspection when the buyer finds out everything that's wrong with the house and the deal could fall apart? That may be true, but the way I see it, it's also the time when the buyer gets to learn all about their home and have the opportunity to decide if they're going to truly fall in love with it. Up to this point, the buyers maybe had a couple of showings, they've looked at surface level stuff, and they like what they see. During the inspection, you get to learn about the inner workings of the home, how well it's been cared for, and a ton of other incredibly valuable information, including but not limited to what items may need to be repaired. This opportunity to help buyers look critically at the condition of the home and make life-changing decisions is a part of my job that I'm honored to do. And let's be honest, in all the inspections I've ever attended, I've never had the inspector say, "Oh yeah, this home, it's perfect. Nothing needs to get fixed." I promise, if that ever happens, I will pick my jaw up off the floor and I will let you know. With all of that in mind, let's assume that you're not buying a perfect home and that you have a report from your inspectors with a list of items that need to be repaired or that need attention. Now let's get to the hard question. What is reasonable or fair to ask the seller to fix? We have 7 factors that we feel you need to consider. Also, as a bonus, at the end of this video, I'll walk you through the approach we take to negotiating the repairs with the seller's agent that we've had so much success with. I wish I had a clear-cut formula for you, but the truth of the matter is that we're dealing with human beings, and in many cases, selling a home is an emotional decision. So we want you to consider the following factors. Number 1, what is the value of the home? We know that for sellers, the first question they're going to have when they see your request for repairs is probably going to be, how much is all of this going to cost me? The truth of the matter is that in most cases, the decision is going to come down to money for the seller. If you're buying $1 million home, $10,000 in requested repairs is going to seem a lot less significant than asking for $10,000 in repairs on a $250,000 home, for example. There's no clear-cut amount that's fair or unfair, but if you can think about the repair list in dollars and compare it to the value of the home, it should help to put things into perspective. You don't want to ask for too much, but you also don't want to nickel and dime the seller over small things. Number 2, what price did you agree to pay for the home? Are you paying fair market value? Did you get a really good deal? Or did you pay maybe slightly more than fair market value because you had to lock down the home with the gorgeous mountain views? This can absolutely make a difference in what's fair when it comes to asking for repairs. If you got a really good deal, I recommend that you don't request or expect much by way of repairs. On the other hand, if you're paying fair market value, it's typically not unreasonable for you to ask the seller to make a portion of the repairs. Number 3, is it an upgrade? Look carefully at each item on the list. It is not reasonable to ask the seller to make any upgrades to the property following the inspection, period. Let me give you a couple of examples of things that could be considered an upgrade. If the inspection reveals that the air conditioning units are old and may not have a lot of useful life left in them, it is not reasonable to ask the seller to replace the air conditioning units. Additionally, if the inspection reveals that the home doesn't have carbon monoxide detectors, but it wasn't a requirement that the home have carbon monoxide detectors at the time that it was built, it would not be reasonable to ask the seller to bring the home up to the current code. Does that make sense? Number 4, is it aesthetic or functional? As a general rule, it's not fair or reasonable to ask the seller to change something that's purely aesthetic. One example immediately comes to mind, and it can be a tricky one to navigate, and that's the seals in our windows. This might surprise you, but Arizona gets hot, like really hot. So hot that the seals in our windows can warp and buckle, and it's not pretty. That being said, unless the seal actually breaks or there's a moisture buildup between the panes, the window is still functional. If the window is still functional but has ugly seals, it's usually not fair to ask the seller to replace the window. Number 5, is it a safety concern? As a general rule, it's fair to ask the seller to repair something that's a health or safety concern. For example, if left untreated for a long period of time, termites can be a safety concern. It's reasonable to ask the seller to treat any active termites found. What item are you most concerned about when it comes to your home inspection? Is it pests, the air conditioner, the roof, something else? Let me know in the comments. Number 6, are you going to replace it? Many times buyers have ideas of things they want to renovate or change when they move in to make the house their own. I mean, that's the fun part, right? Typically, it's not fair to ask the seller to repair something that you're just going to replace or get rid of. For example, if the inspection report notes that there's a leaky faucet in the bathroom, but you know you're going to do a complete bathroom remodel, don't ask the seller to fix the faucet. It's just wasteful. Number 7, what's the state of the market? This last point is an important one. Are you currently in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market? We'll be doing a video on this topic soon that breaks down the difference between buyers, sellers, and balanced markets. But for now, you just need to think about how much competition there was for you to get this home. If the home had been sitting on the market for months and months with little activity before you put in an offer, you may be able to ask for more in repairs. On the other hand, if you were in a multiple offer situation, or worse, if they have a backup offer on the home, I highly recommend that you keep your request for repairs to a minimum. As you can see from these 7 factors, it is truly a balancing act when it comes to asking for repairs after a home inspection. As promised at the start of this video, I'm going to give you an explanation of what we do to successfully navigate this tricky part of the home buying process. Firstly, when we receive our inspection reports, we sit down with our clients and go through every item line by line. Then we ask our clients to make a list of items that, if not repaired, would make them walk away from the home. This means that if the seller refused to fix that particular item, you would resume your search for a different home. Then, once that list is completed, we ask our buyers to make another list of items that are concerning to them and rank them in order of importance. Then, armed with this extremely valuable information, we are able to negotiate with the seller's agent. The next key to our strategy is communicating with the seller's agent before writing up the BINSR. If you're thinking, what the heck is a BINSR? Then you'll want to watch our video of BINSR tips for buyers, and I'll link to that at the end of this video, so stick with me. Anyways, long story short, with the BINSR, in Arizona, you really only have one shot to request repairs, and the seller only has one opportunity to respond. That's a lot of pressure. We can alleviate some of that pressure by coming to a verbal agreement before putting anything into writing and keeping our buyers informed every step of the way. We've had a lot of success with this approach. So there you have it. What do you think? Are you ready to put together a fair and reasonable request for repairs after your home inspection? If you found this video helpful, let me know by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing this video with your friends. Also, if you want to make sure that you're truly prepared for your inspection period, then you'll want to click this video up top that walks you through all of the recommended inspections, or this video on the bottom which walks you through the BINSR process and gives you our best tips for buyers just like you. Enjoy those, and I'll see you next Thursday.